There's always something happening out in California, guys. Always. But either way, this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's jump into it. Let's find out what the story is about here.
California, outside a Coast Guard base in Alameda, as the driver of a U-Haul tried to ram through the entrance, driving in reverse.
Oh, you're just purposefully trying to enter into... Oh, that's not going to work. What's the purpose, though? Is there a reason? Did you catch him? Obviously, you caught him.
Parking just a few blocks away. The driver was wounded in the stomach. His identity is still unknown, but one witness said the U-Haul was parked outside the base for much of the day. Now, this is the same spot where protesters were trying to block Border Patrol agents from getting onto the base. These so-called peaceful idiots allegedly left a security guard working for a news crew beaten and bloodied. Wow. In video obtained by the News Nation, he describes what happened.
They kept asking me where I was going and stepping in front of me.
You didn't identify yourself as a Trump supporter or supporting ICE or...
I support neither.
Would you like me to call 911?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Do you know who did it?
Yeah, I know.
Is it on camera?
No, we were live.
Wow, bro, that's crazy when your own side thinks because you're working a job legitimately that you immediately adhere deeply, let's say, to whatever ideology they think that you have because they've blanketed all of these like government organizations, federal organizations as Trump supporters. Imagine. All right. How do you feel about that, sir? Are you starting to see what the right generally has to say kind of about the protesters, guys? Are you starting to realize that? This man is still going to turn around and vote against his interest. I'm telling you.
Nation also caught a man removing rocks from a rock station on the side of the street. So why would peaceful protesters need those?
Oh, I support ICE.
Right.
100%. Some of us just wanted to be protesting. I fought for your guys' rights to be able to protest all you want.
Yeah, go
Let's
hold
just
hands
do it
with
peacefully. Having rocks here and having rock station gives you the potential to have violence, and I'm trying to do everything to eliminate.
Of course, none of this.
Oh, they're building rock stations for the sole purpose of having a place where they can go to immediately run to grab rocks to chuck at federal agents. Guys, arrest them now. That should be enough, right? Like that right there should be enough to basically prove that this is not a peaceful protest. Like, listen, no one has issues with the concept of protesting peacefully, guys. But the fact that you built a weapons pile, basically, for the sole purpose of throwing it at most likely vehicles or federal agents, that should be enough to be like, this is nefarious.
To stopping Democrats from fanning the flames. Before Trump called off sending troops to the Bay Area, Nancy Pelosi demanded the arrest of federal agents in her district. In a statement, she writes, our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law. And if they're convicted, the president cannot pardon them. Here with us is Bill Asaley, acting U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California. Bill, we got our audio problems fixed here, but what kind of charges could we see against an individual here who conducts himself in this way around these bases with a vehicle which is obviously a weapon?
Right.
Yeah, well, they're looking at some very serious charges. 18 U.S.C. 111 is assault on federal agents, and if you use a deadly weapon to commit that, like a vehicle, you're looking at 20 years in federal prison. I charged that just this week, Laura. We had an illegal alien floor his car at our agents here, and they had to shoot him. So not only are you facing charges, but you might get shot. And this is very serious stuff. The agents will not hesitate to defend themselves, and if you survive, we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Bill, it seems like at least right now, despite the threats of prosecution and some individuals actually being prosecuted in your office and others, there doesn't seem to be a lot of concern on the part of these, these violent activists. They seem energized and inspired by the words of politicians and other agitators, whether it's calling people or authoritarian or the end of democracy. There seems to be an impetus here, and it's not good.
Well, Laura, if you look at Los Angeles, things have quieted down a lot here. And I'll tell you, it's because we had the National Guard come out, number one. Everyone calmed down once they saw armed Marines. And number two, we've charged about 100 individuals, mostly the leaders of these activists, and we hold them and we detain them and we take them to trial. So there are real consequences here in LA. And I think you're going to start seeing that in other places in the country. So we have to start finding out who the leaders are, who the organizers are, who's funding them, and that's what the FBI and other agencies such as HSI are working on now, and now we're using our national security apparatus to dismantle them. But make no mistake, this is a small minority, but they're just very loud and very organized. We have to dismantle them.
Bill, how many prosecutions has your office undertaken, and how long does this take to go through the system?
We have filed approximately 100 cases for either assault or impeding federal agents here. It's a variety of misdemeanors and felonies. A lot of the lower level ones do get resolved. They do end up pleading guilty to the misdemeanors. Some have started going to trial, and that's a whole other issue, Laura, I can get into with the jury pool here. Some are getting acquitted.
Right.
Some will be convicted.
Right.
But look, at the end of the day, our job is to hold people accountable. We're going to arrest them, and we're going to put you onto trial, and we're going to try to make sure we have a fair trial. But that's what's happening here in California.
Yeah, guys, like, I'm not sure what we're expecting here. Like, if they're choosing to go to trial exclusively because they know that the overall community sentiment is the sentiment that Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, Nancy Pelosi basically espouses, right? I mean, so if that's going to be your jury pool specifically, it's going to be people that are just like you, right? Imagine, I'm not going to convict someone for doing absolute crazy against federal agents. No, right? So, guys, there's a bias here, and I understand that every jury has the potential to basically have a bias, pretty much based off of the locale. But this is the reason why they're being let go. In fact.
And Bill, any possibility in the future, you think, given what you're seeing on the ground
start
there,
importing people,
RICO charges against this network of people who are working to, thwart and impede law enforcement?
We've charged some conspiracies. We are looking at RICO, but really the FBI is just getting its hands around the Antifa. Up until the president and the Attorney General, Pam Bondi's been so aggressive on this, up until they've made Antifa a domestic organization, I have to tell you, Laura, they weren't taking them very seriously. They were just saying, you know what, these are just some vandalizers,
some rabble-rousers,
some small assaults, we'll let the states handle them. The FBI did not take them seriously until this new administration. So we are now getting up to speed on those investigations and doing intelligence and applying other assets to figure out how they work and who they are.
Okay.
And Bill, any update on that illegal alien truck driver who obviously we discovered was, shouldn't have been on the roads and failed various CDL tests and so forth?
That is such a horrific case, anyone who saw the video. What we know is that he's an illegal immigrant. He should have never had a commercial driver's license, and the FBI is looking into the circumstances of how he obtained that. And my office is gonna look into see what the procedures were at the California DMV and whether they violated the Department of Transportation regulations in issuing that. So we have multiple investigations opened into this, but the district attorney right now is taking the lead on prosecuting the individual.
Okay, guys, yeah, I think they most likely did violate, but they don't care, guys, because again, California is always going to California. They are entirely too insulated, specifically, I'd say. They believe that whatever they believe is what the country should believe, right? Because purely the amount of money that they make for the federal government, right? So understand this here. We are in a capitalist society, so these individuals, of course, the heads of state, let's say in California, perceive that their opinion is the only opinion that matters, pretty much based off of the income they give to the federal government. Boom, in taxes, right? So let's have this conversation, right? The rest of the country, in fact, does not align, let's say, with the motives and ideologies that tend to proliferate in all of the California big cities, guys, right? I mean, that's just a reality here. There are certain places, like certain pockets around the United States of America. Like, so for example, upstate New York really has nothing to do specifically with Buffalo or Manhattan. Okay, just truth be told here, like, understand that that's not a thing. It's not all of New York that's terrible, but it's a good bit of California. Not all of California, right? But a good bit of it, right? Mainly the big cities. So their perception of what reality is, I guess, in this context, is purely based off of their own insulated, progressive ideology, right? So now, I'll point this out specifically because Yeah, guys, they seriously believe that we should have no borders. It seems, not everyone, but too many. Right, too many that specifically vote in the people that consistently push for no borders, specifically no borders on the southern border of their state, like the Mexicali type of area here, guys. Right. So why would they then say, "Hey, listen, if I think you should be here legally and have no problem, it's no problem, right?" Even though you know that they don't have borders, like walled borders around California. Like, don't get me wrong here. If that was the case, then I think most Americans would probably still be like, "Huh." But the fact is that you can drive like unobstructed, right, from California to another state. So as long as sanctuary cities kind of have the ability to exist, then we have an issue because you're making it a sanctuary country because you're allowing like illegal immigrants to now spread out across the United States of America. How is that beneficial to us all? Knowing that the rest of America, outside of the liberal strongholds specifically, have a different mentality on these things, right? Bro, if you put a walled border around California, I think it'll be less detrimental. Not just California, certain parts of Illinois, right? I guess it would have to be all of Illinois since they want to be a sanctuary city and state based off of J.P. Pritzker, right? But do you think that they actually seriously cared about giving this man a work visa of sorts and a driver's license, even though you know he's illegal? They didn't care, bro. That's what they want, right? Just like when everything was kind of at its peak, and they were and the mayor of Denver was like, "Hey, bro, give us more illegal immigrants." It's just like, bro, you know you don't have a border around Colorado, right? So you're just saying put more people in proximity to places that do not want illegal immigration. Oh, give us work visas. Give us all these things for these people that are broken into our country. Hey, you know they're lying because 80 to 90% of them are not here for the reasons they say they're here for, guys. They are not going to qualify for asylum. So what are we talking? This conversation is getting old now, guys, because what kind of country do you want? Do you want a country like the country you grew up in, or a country full of people who are here to literally use our money, specifically economic migrancy, to the rate of 80 to 90% of the people that have broken into our country? Okay. Most of the gotaways are people that have basically been kicked out, meaning that they don't want to run the border patrol. They want to get away from border patrol, right? Because again, they know that they're not going to be able to stay here because their asylum claim already got declined before, and they broke back into our country, right? So these are the people you're fighting for. You know that, right? Like the people you're fighting for specifically are the ones who are, number one, lying or committing asylum fraud, or two, people that are broken in and have been deported before. Again, breaking the law again to utilize legitimately our economic resources to basically fund the whatever household that they had in the country that they ran from, right? Guys, I'm trying to logic this out here, but I don't see the benefit in allowing people to be inside this country that have broken the law. All right, they refuse to leave. Number two, right, and they're here committing asylum fraud, guys. Either way, guys, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies. And I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.